Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Oh, that is. Do you see the Bloodline merch now?
Wait, this is our new theme
man.
song?
I'm sorry.
It's our new theme
He's
song.
like,
I just tested it out for tonight. Whatever. You don't have to be. I just figured, hey, I made it up a couple days ago, and I like the way it sounded.
I don't like anything that's happening right now, to be honest.
so, what's Sheldon playing?
I feel uncomfortable.
What's that thing you play? The theremin? Sounds like a theremin going on.
Take it easy, man.
Let's just remember that.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy.
And then you hear that at the end. Watch.
Take it easy, man.
In the middle of like snorting up his snot that was coming out or something. Like,
yeah,
man.
absolutely.
But we'll have to, that's a nice shirt there, Craig. And man, SmackDown was really good. It was really good. Madison Square Garden.
It's a nice shirt, but I got a nicer shirt.
It was MSG. I didn't know that. I'm way out of the loop in wrestling this week. It was MSG.
Put my vote in order.
Yeah.
It was
19,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really good.
All
the Bloodline stuff.
You know why there was 19,000? Because Hogan wrestled Andre and he died 3 days later.
Oh, that was like yesterday though. That's why.
And he fell into the ocean.
It was just yesterday, brother. When was that video? Why. Before we get to SmackDown, when was that video recorded? Because it looked like it was older.
Yesterday, brother.
Because he didn't sound like old, like. And then I had breath of Uncle or Andre.
Yeah, it had to have been probably like didn't they do a show for a while with Foley? And maybe it was only a year or two ago because didn't Foley go around and he buys all that old merchandise for people?
Yeah, but I don't think Hogan did that.
No,
I don't think,
I think that was something else. It was almost like Cribs or something.
I think he's reined that in. Or if he didn't, he's trury clueless.
It might be Cribs. Maybe it is.
That's not clueless. He just doesn't. If he's doing it recently, he just doesn't
It might
care.
be Cribs. Yeah, that's what.
As Justice said, he just doesn't give a
See,
shit.
that's not fair.
MTV was at my house one day, brother, and they said, "Hey, why don't we just record your?"
We should be sharing what actually we're talking about. Actually, it was a clip of Hogan showing off his merch in his house or whatever he was, and he showed his yellow boots
I wore
when
I beat Andre the Giant.
They look like
he died just a few days later, brother. I love these boots, and he walks away.
I'm gonna promise you, it's not the boots.
It's not. I don't think it is. They look like rain boots. Like it literally look like rain boots.
Yeah.
Like
he wrestled Nikolai Volkov in those, and then he just kept. I wrestled Andre in them, and that was it.
Brother, those were the boots that I was stomping in the rain outside the puddle.
You see, I wrestled the Sheik in those, and he never wore yellow against the Sheik.
The interview was all, isn't that made of paper? He's like, get out, brother, get out of the basement.
Yeah, brother.
They're real boots.
Aren't those Brian Blair's boots?
The real boots, brother. I think you get them from Boot Barn.
They got them from Boot Bar, brother.
It's not even his. It's got like a bird on the side. It's Coco's boot. He's like, these boots, brother.
They're like fucking Valentine's boots.
It's just obviously not his. Like he grabs it.
I don't know.
Scissors?
And they look cute. Like I know he's a big guy, but like
Ronnie Garvin's
Jake Roberts, those are snakeskin. He's like, get out, brother.
Literally look like they're Andre the Giant's boots. Like that's how big those things were.
This candy, Ned, $90.
Wait, aren't they bowling shoes? Get the fuck out.
Oh, brother.
Flops.
We really don't know what we're dealing with here, man.
No, we don't. We never did. We never did,
buddy.
Never did, brother.
All the time.
You're a piece of shit, Terry. You're a piece of shit, Terry.
Come on.
He is and he is.
He is. I was gonna say mostly he might be, brother. Well, I'm gonna copyright those shirts then, brother.
Did he kill WCW?
I was waiting.
Just go straight into it. So
if he tries to copyright these shirts, I'm so waiting for it. We're just gonna like.
It's just gonna like the address is gonna be from Clearwater. It's gonna be like.
Hogan got out of the whole who killed WCW well. No one ever said Hogan attempted to kill WCW. And I will pat myself on the back, and I will say that I because of Bischoff's participation, he did not also get blamed. The who got blamed ultimately, after you watch all 4 episodes of the Vice Who Killed WCW, was ultimately like Jamie Keller and what else were their names? Turner, except Brad C. and a couple others.
I mean, it's a mixture of everything still.
That's literally, it was. Bischoff said it. He said it multiple times in the last couple of years. It was death by 1,000 cuts. And like, it really was. It was just, it wasn't for people to say Bischoff is not fair. And I know that's not very popular, and because I've been a fan of his too, and I'm really glad they showed that scene. It was heartbreaking when Nash was just like, I mean, Nash was a fucking jack off like this whole fucking documentary.
It's
just
fantastic.
Fucking,
I love.
but he knew what he
it.
was there for, and he was just like, but
I'm here for it.
This Nash is smart, and like, so Nash is just like, I'm just gonna speak in fucking sound bites. And that's all I'm gonna do.
You want to hear the truth? You want to hear some bullshit?
Yeah, it's just all sound bites, and he knew it, and that's all it was. But at the end, Bischoff, they would. The cool thing that they would do is they would give the like tablet of the recorded interview from somebody else,
right?
And they gave Bischoff the tablet so he could watch Nash say, you know what, like you could say what you want about him, but he's the only guy to ever beat Vince for 83 weeks. He's the only guy to ever do that. And Bischoff like was trying to not to cry, and he's like, cool. And like I felt bad for him because I was like, you know, we could say whatever we want, and it's really easy for these vultures like Meltzer and Alvarez to sit on the outside, and because most people that were not in the industry, I'd say all the people that have ever made a book about the death of WCW only talk about the on-screen product because that's all we see as fans.
Yep.
And the one thing that this documentary brought that I never really knew a lot about. I mean, I read the Nitro book that was made a couple years ago that Bischoff loves because it talks about the Turner execs and all that stuff. They never, of course, WWE, when they made their WWE produced documentaries, they never talked about the merger. They never talked about the way that they were profit swapping. Now, it goes both ways. What they didn't talk about in the documentary was they took other revenue from other facets of TBS and TNT to pay for Hogan's contract and Savage's contract when they got it over. They're not going to talk about that because that doesn't fit their narrative of all Turner was trying to do was sweep the profits of WCW under the rug. That makes no sense, like that they would ever do that. However, it does make sense they would want it gone because it was losing too much money.
Losing a lot of money there, brother.
When it was first bought in 1988, all the way until it died in 2001, it only profited like 4 years of all of those years. So it's like, I understand, like people have a hard time believing that that's the reason why. I'm like, no, like, listen, if they were taking WCW profits and sweeping it under the table, and then all of a sudden, like, and using it to make other divisions look more profitable and kind of sweeping off the top, even Jim Herd back, Meltzer said on, I'm sorry to bring him up, but Meltzer said on his one of his podcasts talking about the documentary was that whenever
it's like
pretty much what you said.
Herd would contact him and be like, you know what's really fucked up here? He's like, is they do hide stuff. So he's like, for example, I know how many buys we got of this last WCW pay-per-view. I know how much we have to give to the cable companies versus what we keep. And they were only keeping like 20%. That's all they were reporting back to Jim Herd. Jim Herd's like, bullshit. We're getting more than 20%. We're getting like 40 or 50. But Turner was taking like the profits. So they were taking a little bit of WCW pay-per-view profits. So it still would have lost money even before Bischoff, but it wouldn't have been as bad. I don't know if that makes it better. But like, I mean, it's just from the beginning, they were taking profits from WCW and shifting them over. And I don't know how different that is, by the way, from any other company that owns a bunch of sub companies. I don't think that's, unfortunately, I don't think that's common practice.
Jess, it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate. I'm just saying it's common practice.
I don't believe that. I believe that what they were doing was absolutely wrong, and I don't think that's the way it goes with most places. I mean, maybe networks do that. I don't think that's appropriate at all. And if
Stop you there, Jess.
I've been doing it for years. Like all my little companies,
if people are doing that with television in certain ratings in these situations, it's definitely not appropriate. Like that's like saying like we're going to take some of Seinfeld's ratings and commercial and profits in their syndication, and we're going to dump it into Helen or something stupid. Like you shouldn't. It's not appropriate at all. I mean, I don't know, Craig, if you can weigh in on that.
I must apologize to everyone on the podcast because I've been siphoning profits off this for years. You guys don't know we have 20 million followers. I just didn't tell you. I've been siphoning followers.
Hey, that's all right, buddy. You keep them in your back pocket or whatever you got to do.
Well, I don't know if you say that, Dave. I don't know. To me, maybe it's just because maybe because I don't believe in corporate America because I think it's all full of greed and it's all about making like.
You're like, oh, that sounds right.
But I'm all that sounds about. Yeah. I don't know how that's different than any other company. I guess,
because I haven't, and I'm trying to catch up. I watched the first EP and they haven't really. The only thing that they delved into with the execs is that they didn't understand it and it was losing money in their mind. But to your point, if they're saying that they were taking profits from it when it was early on and putting it other places, like, well, it doesn't make money, like that's bullshit. Like that's just, you're not even giving it a chance. Because if it started to get close, then you give it the push, just like wrestlers going to push, right? They start to see that, and you give that wrestler a push. Like you give Daniel Bryan
Son
to
of a
push
bitch.
because he's over, right? If they're starting to get close, then what are you going to do to draw more people in? But
'Cause
if you
I
keep
don't-
taking the profits away, that's not appropriate. That's
The
not
whole
okay.
thing about them, and then I think this is maybe I don't understand it. The whole thing
Okay.
I disagree with again because I'm only from a fan standpoint is at the end. So
Mhm.
Bischoff said, "I suspect that they purposely took the TV deal out so nobody else could buy the company, and then they sold it to
60
Vince
mil?
for pennies on the dollar." And I'm like,
Right.
"But wait a minute, though. The going price. I think Bischoff was scheduled with Fusion. Was it Fusion? It was like $60 million. Why
Damn.
wouldn't they want to sell it for 60 million instead of 3.5? It doesn't make any sense. Like, so that's why I'm like, I don't know why they wouldn't have sold it to Bischoff, and Bischoff said something along the lines
They
of like,
hated wrestling.
they
No,
just didn't want me to
because
have
Jamie
it. They didn't want me
Keller,
to have it.
the new
That
guy,
too,
Jamie
yeah.
Keller, did not want to give up 4 hours of prime time of wrestling.
For
So-
something that
But
was
if
the deal was
somebody else owned it,
worthless.
though, it doesn't make sense. If somebody else owned it, like, and they Bischoff and his new company, they accrue all of the debt. Like, what does it matter? Like,
No,
why
because
would
they
you have
the,
the highest
deal
rated
was
show?
contingent
They-
Nitro
upon
was still getting
Craig's
like
expert
3
here,
million viewers.
they said
the
they
deal
said
on
no.
them getting
Yeah, I
4
agree.
hours of prime time. So Jamie Keller didn't want to give up 2 hours because he came from different network. The deal is
Yeah.
contingent upon them having 2 hours on TNT on Monday and 2 hours on Thursday. Jamie Keller didn't want that. So it's like 60
killed it.
million, kill it.
And no
because-
other
and
network
then
was going to
they
give
don't
up that
owe
much
60
TV
because
time.
they're not getting the time slots because then they haven't sold it anymore.
Right.
So it's like,
Thanks,
I
sir.
just don't
Guaranteed
understand. Like,
People in analysis.
They
if you
Trade
sell if you sell the company to Bischoff
Right.
and it's just another program now, it becomes another another television property trying to get time on your network. Like, I don't understand how TBS wouldn't have done it. Like, they were still even at
no,
their
because
worst. Like,
he would only pay 60 million if they got the 2 hours on Monday. And Jamie
That's
Keller
right.
wanted to put
Said
other
no.
stuff on the network on Monday.
I
And
know
you
that,
shot
but
it.
that's
so-
it though. I mean, I'm asking a question. That's it. Like, they would have made
That's
more
what killed
money
it,
by
yeah.
selling it for 60 million and then letting it stay on their network because they would have got a portion of the ad revenues. They would have made
yeah,
more
of course.
money letting Bischoff keep it on there and Bischoff owning it,
Yeah.
and TBS doesn't accrue any more of the debt. They
I
don't
always
have to
forget
worry about it
what
losing
did they
money.
even replace
Like-
it with? Like, what did they put on Monday?
Am I wrong in thinking that? I'm thinking that they would have made more
Jess,
money keeping
I
it
see
there.
where you're going because if they're getting
No, it
if
was
they're getting
dying. No,
but if they're getting a 2.0 or a 1.0, it's still high
Table.
ratings. Is what
It
you're
was
saying,
dead though.
without the dead.
It was dead. I mean, at
Well,
that
it was
point-
dead for who
And-
owned it, though. It was dead for who owned it.
No, I see what you're saying. So if the
right.
network
If you
sells,
if you
yeah.
get this like NBC or whoever, and Jamie Keller launched the Fox network, he doesn't want like literally 2 out of his 7, or I'm sorry, 2 out of his 50 he can't do anything with, like beholden and pay $60 million for it and just have it like to die. So he wanted to either experiment and build up TBS and TNT. Like he didn't believe in any of it. So no, the economics didn't work for him.
Yeah,
Like,
he didn't. I
No,
know.
but what I'm
he
saying
didn't,
is like
yeah.
they own WCW, right? The network did.
right.
Like they
right.
owned it, and then
Right.
AOL absorbed it because it was part of the merger. If they sold
Right.
it to Bischoff,
but
Bischoff
yeah,
would have paid 60 million
they would
to
have gotten the
them.
60 million.
So they would have
yeah.
made 60 million, and then they would have had a hit show. They wouldn't have worried about the debt because it wouldn't have mattered at that
and
point.
and all
Like-
the salaries and everything else.
Yeah,
right?
and then if their ratings just
but
tanked, yes,
then they have
cancel
like
nothing.
Craig
Then
said,
they
cancel the
lose
show.
their prime time on Monday nights.
Yeah,
then
they
2
lose their
nights a
prime
week,
time
they
that they
can't-
can't control it.
No, but
That
you know.
But if a show is a hit show,
Then
what does it
it's on
matter? You have a hit
Mondays
show
or
on
on
your prime
Thursdays.
time.
okay. I'm gonna what replaced Nitro on Monday nights? That's what I
It wasn't getting raw ratings, but it was still Nitro was still getting a 3.0. That's a massive.
I mean, that's still
cable
yeah,
rating.
that's still
Like,
that
I
was
think it
a
was
still
massive
good.
cable
TNT
rating.
TBS movies.
Is that what they replaced it with?
I
at
well, I
the
get,
time?
and I'm literally asking. I'm not
Was
trying
it
to be
TNT
confrontational. I don't. To me,
No, you wanna
it,
fight
it
Craig.
would make
That's
more
fine.
sense for them to have like a hit thing. But I think Craig said it before in past episodes, or maybe when we were talking about the very first show that they had 4 parts of this documentary. On the first one,
Yeah.
that like the syndicated shows are cheaper because like you don't produce them, they're already produced and you just air them. So they
Yeah.
probably made more profit. So even if the ratings were lower, even if they put a show in Nitro's place that only got 750,000 people, if they already owned the footage or they own everything, they make way more profit on it. That makes sense. But I just don't understand why they wouldn't be like, oh, you mean we have no debt and then we still have a hit program on our
Or
shows? Oh, like I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
Did Vince pay someone under the table over there for?
Well, that's what Bischoff was saying, is that there was something going on, and what it did. I don't remember the name, Craig, but somebody worked for the WWE that used to work for Turner.
this guy came in to reinvent TBS and Turner Networks. Didn't want to. If it's a one-time, if you have a hit show on Mondays or Tuesday nights, or you have an entire slate. If you think of 4 sitcoms in 2 hours, right? So a sitcom's 30 minutes. TBS could have made 4 hit shows on Monday and then Thursday. They would have made a lot more than the $60 million it cost to get rid of WCW. And he didn't want to give up the hours of television.
That makes
were
sense.
much more valuable than the 60 million.
And I know you know way more about the TV
plus
industry than I do.
giving
I
them
just,
a
I,
year
it
of
just,
4
I mean,
hours.
it's weird, like that
So
they
he's
would
just
just
like,
want it
fucking
gone
don't
that
do it.
bad.
A lower
that's
number
weird.
and then let them shop the show.
They must have really hated wrestling, I guess, or WCW.
I
that's
guess
how
that
much
is
they
the
hated
truth,
it.
you know.
I think
Like I
that's-
guess, yeah.
Without Ted Turner,
somebody-
that's
somebody
like,
didn't want to be
that's
how
associated
much
with
they
anymore,
hated
yeah,
it.
like,
Somebody
yeah,
had
so-
an old TV guide in these time slots, and like 7:10 is Darling Lil, and then there was obviously baseball. There was
that'll
Shark
pop a rating.
Attack. Becker was in that time
Shark
slot.
Attack's Will.
The
Becker.
producers, the Deadpool crime mysteries, Mission Impossible 2. They had a movie there that they kind of rolled in there. Those are shows.
So it's just like they were showing
TV
random shit, huh? It's like-
TBS was the Deadpool crime. Yeah, back in action for the 5th time. Dirty Harry. They just replayed fucking Dirty Harry in that time
I mean, you
slot.
can't.
There you go.
Bye
So
bye WCW.
right, and just I see your point. I think to Craig's point, they just didn't want it because if you obviously already have the debt and you know you have to eat that. You have to eat all the debt of the contracts that are under AOL, right, with Hogan and all that shit, and they'll sit out anyway.
Oh, brother.
But if you started Nitro over and you don't accrue, you get 60 million for it, and you don't accrue any of the debt beyond that, and all you're getting is a rating between 1 and 3, 1 million to 3 million people, which it could have built it back up. We don't know. It's going to be better than fucking Clint Eastwood 1980 rerun of a movie.
But Craig's always said it from the start. It is like the number obviously looks better, but Craig's right. Like the production value for something else, even if it only gets 1 million, like is so the profit's so great, like compared to WCW. But they must have hated Eric Bischoff and just hated wrestling. I guess they were right. Like from the beginning, they just never liked pro wrestling. Like they just didn't want it on the network, and even people as
They didn't understand it.
Keep in mind too that like when whoever Fusion or whoever bought WCW, I don't think they were going to buy the contracts. I think Turner owned those. Or
yeah, no
maybe
matter
that was
what
just
Turner, I
them.
think had to give the
AOL
contracts. I
Time
think no matter
Warner
what.
had to
bought
eat
it.
those.
But
Yeah,
they didn't.
Yeah, that's another
They had to eat it.
aspect.
So it's
to that.
like
Fuck.
right.
they wanted to just write it off the. It's a tax write off. They wanted to like just get it off the books.
So it's
Which
so
makes
insane
no
the way it all
sense.
went
Like,
down.
I don't know what that means. Get off the books.
And I know like a lot of the dirt sheets got, so this was just an Eric Bischoff redemption documentary. I was like, look, man, like, I don't think he deserves to get the blame that he did.
people
How can you
No.
look at someone like him that was the only guy to take it to success, the only guy to ever make it profit? And then while he profited, he beat the #1 wrestling promoter in America. I don't
The
understand
mecca of
how
professional
I
wrestling.
don't understand how you don't want to give Bischoff credit. I don't understand how people don't. I'm not saying he made all the right moves. Obviously, he fucked up a lot, especially towards the end. But I mean, like, I don't understand why the visceral hatred for him in the wrestling community. I just don't get it. Like, maybe people are so dumb they just believe his character because he plays a sleazebag. But he's that arrogant and kind of dickish in real life. But
Yeah.
I look at my picture right up here by my computer, and it's us meeting him in New Orleans, and he was fucking cool
yeah.
as shit. And like he was so
No, he's
fucking
not.
cool.
I just
and,
saw him on the street.
that was
Yeah, it
before
funny.
it was before the podcast
Hey,
debuted.
guys.
He had a polo on that said 83 weeks. And
Hey guys, how you doing?
and I remember asking him like, hey, like what, or I think Craig, maybe it was me or Craig. I don't remember which one of us asked him, what's that 83 weeks? What's that on your shirt? He's like, oh, it's a new podcast I'm going to do with Conrad. And we're like, oh shit. Like that's why he was there. And that was
Fuck,
before
Craig,
83
he had the
weeks launched.
scoop and he didn't fucking break it here first.
I know. And Jess, were you in the elevator when we were in Halloween Havoc? Did you ride up the elevator with him when he was super
Yes.
drunk?
No,
End of
that
the
was
night?
you and Nick.
Was that-
I went upstairs and finally went to sleep, and then you and Nick went back down there to see if you could talk to more wrestlers. And then the next morning you came up and you're like, you guys got in the elevator, fuck it, let's go back up. And then they go out and there's a guy with a fucking leather jacket, like totally bloodshot eyes, hammered as fuck in the corner. And they look and they're like, fuck, that's Bischoff. He's like, what's up, guys? And he was just fucking drunk in the corner. And he went up to his room or whatever. But he's always been, I mean, we've only met him twice, right? But he was not a dick at all.
No,
Like,
he's-
either
oh,
time.
yeah,
Like,
he's cool.
No.
he was like, so
And
I've always respected him for that. I
And
love
why
it.
he didn't kill WCW? Because if he killed WCW, why would he want to spend so much time trying to save
Why would he want to buy it?
Exactly.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't he?
and make it?
I mean, he
grow?
probably made
Like,
he made
that
decisions,
alone.
but
Man.
And it doesn't matter if I think it would have made it or not. I think it probably would have still shit the bed. Like, because I don't know if Bischoff knew what to
Right.
do like back then. And the wrestling industry was
he
changing.
indirectly killed it. Or
Yeah,
I mean,
he would have to.
responsible.
There's a lot of hypotheticals, but if he can see what the cruiserweight division did, and he could bring in more of that new talent again and kind of inspire that and make WCW more like that, I think it would have succeeded somewhere. You know?
It would have had a little slot for sure, and I think that people would have still watched it as an alternative product, which I know that's a far cry from what he used to be. But like, I think if he wanted to rebuild it to try to be number one again, I think that would be a mistake. But if he rebuilt it, and if it happens by chance, but we're just going to build our own flavor of ice cream, that's fine too.
Well, after Austin just goes off, and then The Rock is on top. Cena's on the way, and then every bit of talent that he had brought over there in the cruiserweights was now on fire in the era. What did John Cena call it? The ruthless aggression era from 0106.
Aggression.
There was
And unfortunately,
no
when you
chance, dude, no
if
chance
if he would have owned it on his own, obviously the pocketbook would have been a lot tighter. And the problem is with that is when your pocketbook's tight and you have no way to compete with Vince on that level, which the only reason why he did in the beginning was because Turner was willing to give the money.
Yeah.
You'll just become a feeder system, and that's I think what would have happened. He would have became
billionaire Ted to get whoever he can get.
like without Ted's money behind him, there would be no Hall, there would be no Nash, there would have been no Hogan, there would have been no Savage. Like they wouldn't have never come over. So Bischoff would have bought a company and just been a willing feeder system to the WWF after that point. Like it just
which is
no
what
way.
it was. What it was in the first place.
It kind of, I mean, but not really. Kind of yes and kind of no. They were willing to spend a lot of money and lose money to bring people like Steamboat back or Rude or whatever. Like they were just trying anything.
That's true.
Bischoff would have managed the money.
They would always get them on the
him.
tail end though. Outside of Flair, they would always get that talent on the tail end. Like they got Steamboat later. Macho, they got him old. Like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash even got them later. They got Diamond Stud and Oz and built them into something in WWF, and it was impressive. Razor Ramon's, dude, it was fire, man. It was such a great character. We all loved it, and then Vince had to wreck it by anybody can play Razor, anybody can play Diesel. Like, no, they can't. No, they cannot. Like those guys had definitely built that and had the savvy for it too. But I mean, Vince had a knack of taking people that had nothing in the realm of feature characters except once he started to build characters. I don't know if we give him enough credit for that because Diesel, Razor, Undertaker, all those guys came from WCW as nothing, and he built them. I
mean, we could look back.
That's what Vince does.
Make
Vince
fun of campy characters, but I mean, people remember that more than they'll remember.
That
Scott
was just the flavor at the time,
yeah.
and Vince always has been a master at building things.
And the thing
He
that
eventually started to suck at it. Undertaker was the last one, I think. Sorry, Craig.
the thing that hit me to wrap it up is there was people that had worked there. There were hundreds of for 25 years. Forget about that. It's just like business and wrestling and like big bottom and like who's going to win and blah, blah, blah. But you can tell that footage at the last night or whatever, probably 100 people every week with Turner Sports. And
putting that show on.
And WCW.
Right.
Yep.
That immediately were gone. Like a family of people that they'd worked with for even before Nitro. Like, forget Nitro, but before that.
Right.
Saturday night,
Whoa.
like everything
A lot
wrestling.
of us know what that's like.
Right. I mean, Craig is right, but yeah, Craig's
Uh,
right. It's just I think I come
My
at
God,
it from
man, it's just
like a Homer
everyone-
standpoint.
Well,
I
you're
love
just
pro
asking,
wrestling,
and then you're like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, well, then I also look
It's
at it. It just
understandable.
boggles my mind. To this day, I know it's been beaten like to death. I know the whole WCW how it died. I get it, but like whenever a documentary comes up like this, and it got really good ratings for Vice and really good reception, but like to this day, I don't think it will never not, or it will ever not boggle my mind about how they rose to such like heights, and then they just the drop was so fast, and like it wasn't like a small decline. Me too. I miss it. I really do miss WCW. I miss it a lot. And
I was Team WWF, but like I still love WCW. Like I was switching back.
Yeah,
and forth all
like
the time.
it-
like you could not. Like,
We cut our teeth
We-
on WWF for
Y'all
sure, and I'll
wore-
never
y'all
forget
wore
that.
out
But
the back button.
WCW was
Y'all
fun.
wore out that prior channel button.
Yep,
Like, that thing
return or
broke.
depending
Return,
on what
last
control
channel,
you
whatever
had.
wanna
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even
100%.
before
Sometimes
that, I
accidentally go to the
loved,
scramble channel. You're like, oh shit.
I love the Clash of the early
Oh,
Clash of the
whoopsie.
Champions. I love
I was
WCW
just
Saturday
watching
Night.
it.
I loved.
What, buddy? What'd you say?
I said sometimes, you know, the,
I
when
was
you
saying
go to
with
the
the-
previous
with the-
channel
with-
was the scramble
with the-
channel. And you're like, whoops.
With the
Scramble
sock, with the
channel.
sock.
I
What?
watched
Was
something
something
else
else
before Raw came on. Like, that's
Did
what
a- Had a hard sock in the room. What?
uh,
Sock was like plaster. Sorry,
ah,
a little much. Plaster sock.
I was gonna
And
go
then,
further in on that, but never mind.
This year,
I took
this
it
Sunday-
too far already. It's fine.
this Sunday is Cuz's favorite phrased pay per view, AEW Forbidden Door.
Woo! Whoa!
This
Before we get to that, though. Well, no, we
Oh,
can.
whoa.
No, let's recap that.
No, we
actually.
can go ahead. You lead the way. You go.
No.
nuts.
Let's recap that first because there's a lot of good stuff to talk about on Raw and SmackDown.
Go
and,
for it.
You know, whatever else.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like
the other
to
news, but
end it with the Raw and
let's-
SmackDown stuff.
Yeah, let's do a recap or do the preview of AEW because I'm gonna probably get it. So
I mean, listen. I think the whole
Maybe.
concept of Forbidden Door wore out like after the first 2 years. I think like
year.
every year that goes forward, like the first year. To your point,
well,
I mean, like,
that's what I gotta
can
say.
you
'cause
imagine
every time,
Forbidden Door 20? Like, what new things can you do?
No,
at
it's
that
not
point?
even
Like,
that because the phrase it should only be used with WWE because WWE was the one forbidding wrestlers that were signed to them to go work elsewhere or other promotions to work with them. AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, PW, they all allow their wrestlers to. So it makes no sense to call it the Forbidden Door. Honestly, I like Wrestle Dream, that other pay-per-view AEW has. They should have They should have just went with that and just had it like at that. But the
I think that'll be
Forbidden
later in the
Door
year, right?
makes it it also makes it sound like an in your house, like it's their kind of, I don't know, it just it
I love
really
the-
does.
the-
Like that's
It's
what
a
it reminds
Forbidden
me of.
Door. Forbidden
No,
Door
it
tonight.
doesn't
You got-
it doesn't make it sound like it's in your house, but I understand
I
what
feel
you're saying. And I
of it.
think
Wrestle Dream sounds and
the
feels
first
bigger.
year, yes, it had a buzz the first year, like Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it did.
And now that you're 2 years into it, and it's like
It's not forbidden no more
No,
because even
like,
if let's say like
I
you
get
can
it.
apply it for the first year, you can't anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's not an
I
and
love
it's in
it.
your
I
house.
I
want the
think
theme
what it
song
is
to In Your House,
actually-
but with
In
new
your-
words
with
of
Okada, just
AEW.
Okada singing it. In your house, bitch. Like,
It's Forbidden Door tonight.
bitches.
yeah, they should do that. They totally should.
But I will say, like, it's definitely not a night for casuals, right? Because it's like these matches are like
It's the
they
dream.
have no idea what these stories are or who these people are.
Which is why
but
it
it's
should
always
be Wrestle Dream.
fantastic,
Dream
like bell
matches
to
for
bell.
Wrestle.
Like,
Come on, man. Like it's
Just
right
every
there, Tony.
pay-per-view,
Like
like-
it's right fucking there. Like
All the
God damn it,
pay-per-views
man.
of Wrestle Dream would be fucking
if he
hilarious.
fucking get his fucking nose out of the fucking Coke, then maybe he'd be
Whoa.
paying attention. Hey, you
It
know
would
what?
just be
I
called,
did
like-
see that they do. I did see what
Walked
they
right
did.
into that one.
I did see what they did on their YouTube though. They did start adding like they have the history of MJF from when he started in AEW up until his return, I think. So they did start doing
Nice.
that kind of on their YouTube, but
Yeah, well, welcome to the party 5 years later. They fucking need to do it more.
they need to
Like,
do it with their
more and more and more.
storylines, though, like especially like their prominent storylines.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
of
read
course,
something
that's why
too
you're in the
before I get
situation you're
into
in,
it,
Tony.
because
Let's-
you
yeah.
said you like AEW Dark, and
I did.
I guess the network made them cancel that show.
But it was on YouTube, so that's what's
That's
stupid.
the problem. Is like I guess they have an
Oh,
exclusive
gotcha.
with
Yeah,
TBS.
yeah, yeah.
So TBS was like, if you have any new content, you cannot debut it on YouTube. You have. I guess that's kind of the similar thing with WWE and Speed. Like they talk about it, but they don't like. It's just exclusive for like the internet. Like that's all, or X or whatever
And
it
it's
is.
3 minutes.
Like that. I guess it's the same thing. I guess TBS got pissed and they're just like, nope.
He's-
Like you cannot do Dark anymore.
He's really-
because it,
Really
dumb.
struggling for the extra TV deals. It seems like for him, and the streaming contracts are ever elusive.
Yeah.
but-
So,
Yeah, it's kind of weird
Tony
because it
this
seems
week-
like it seems like they're happy with them, but then it's like you're also like trying to kill AEW. I don't know. Like it's just kind of weird. Like the way the
Tony
way it
this
feels.
week
I don't know.
said, he
20 years from
basically
now,
gave
it's
a
Tony
blowjob
Khan
to
going, they
David
just never
Zaslav.
liked wrestling. They never liked it in the documentary.
It's like the same thing.
AEW. Yeah, who killed AEW?
He's all they
What-
died from
what
a
What did Tony say, Greg, this week?
1,000
Tony
bumps.
gave a compliment to David Zaslav, who owns WBD, and says, "I'm very happy to be led by a leader like David Zaslav." And then there was also a saying, "The 10-yard line and the goal line, and going to punch it in."
All right.
So they are very,
there you
very
go. That's
close.
Okay,
Warner Brothers
great.
Discovery.
That's good. Yeah, they need to get on a
Dude.
streaming service for sure. Because like like you said, like Forbidden Door, for example, that pay per view.
So,
Yeah, we
so
all
if it's
like it.
If
but
it's
not
Warner
everyone
Brothers
else
Discovery, then it's gonna be on Max, which is like one of the biggest streaming platforms. Period.
Which one more time, just
Carries
because
everything.
before you get into the pay per view, I don't think we brought it up. The Triller deal or whatever, the $10 a
Yeah,
month.
so I went on there. Because I noticed after the last pay per view, like I think they're fed up with Bleacher Report, and it's good to expand anyway. But
Yeah.
Craig's noted a million times that Bleacher
O.W.P
Report
exclusive, right?
just
Brought to you by
just steals Craig's money, it flat out steals it, and doesn't want to give it back. And then like their streaming shit is crap, like a lot. It freezes
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah,
so
Bleacher. I hate Bleacher Report.
the
The
last
problem
pay per
is
view,
who-
or the one. Go ahead, Craig.
Guess who owns Bleacher?
Who?
Tony Khan.
Warner Brothers Discovery.
Really? Well, fuck, they need to fix that shit.
That's
Yeah,
why.
so it's like
that's why.
Get rid of
Yeah,
some of
so,
those journalists too on the wrestling side.
last month or the month before, a couple pay-per-views ago, they started advertising on Triller. So now you can get their shit through Triller. And I went on there a couple days ago and I texted everybody on the group chat. I was like, ooh, like, so you can go and it's called the AEW pack. And then you go on there and it's by year and you can get all the pay-per-views like for each year for $10 a pop. It's not $10 for all of them, but I mean, if you want to go back and watch a, pay-per-view from last year, you can $10, you can go watch it.
I thought it was like a $10 a month type thing, and you can.
No,
watch
no, it's $10 a pop. But I mean, I said in the beginning, I was like, look, like,
I mean, that's
if
still
you-
something,
like,
I guess.
because before I used to go back and look at pay-per-views from a year ago and it would still be fucking $50. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, this pay-per-view is a year old. Why are you still charging $50 on Bleacher Report? Like, for that shit. But
Insane.
Triller,
And I wonder
Triller,
how
I
many
guess, launched
buys
a
are really
pack where
getting
you-
for that. It's fucking weird.
you can go year by year now and then pick whatever pay-per-view you want. They separate it in 2018, 19, all that. And you can just go and watch pay-per-view for $10.
So,
It's still not the best deal,
Do you
but I mean,
own
'cause,
it though?
if you
Do
want-
you own it after paying the $10?
I believe. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure you do. Like,
Because if you do, I mean,
but,
that's that's fine. Like, we used to
it's
spend
better than
$20 on
nothing,
these.
but they
It
need
is.
to-
Where would it,
they need to-
Where would
yeah.
you? But
They
where
need
would you
to.
house it after you pay the $10? Where would it go? Where would it be stored?
it just
the
stays. You just
Triller
stays
Cloud.
there on Triller or
Up your ass, Dave.
your butt.
Oh.
All right, so try to. I guess you can do the card now if you want. Tell us the card.
There's
No.
three. There's three pre-show matches. Whatever. I'll let everybody figure that out.
It's
when
so
they watch
funny.
The show.
So there's 5 matches on a WWE PLE, and there's 3 on the Forbidden Door
Yeah.
pre-show.
Just
The
the
pre-show is like
Just
75% of.
just if you're keeping score at home.
Oh, yeah,
Hey man, WWE's
follow
on
that
that
So,
TV deals.
The first match is a ladder match for the vacant AEW TNT Championship that Edge vacated when he broke his whole body, jumping off the cage. This is gonna be fucking great. It's gonna be a ladder match. It's Takeshita versus Briscoe versus Jack Perry versus Dante Martin versus Leo Rush versus El Phantasmo, who I don't know who that is. But I mean, they're gonna go crazy and murder everybody, and like it's gonna be
How
great.
many?
Triple A.
How
Yeah.
many? That
He's from Triple
seems
A.
like a lot of people, bro.
Phantasm.
That seems like
People
more than
will
Money in
die.
the Bank. Like,
And by the way, it's 40 people, Dave. It's not a lot. It's just 40. Mark Briscoe has been putting out some of his best fucking promos. Have you seen those guys?
Oh my
I have
god,
not
they're
seen his
amazing.
recent promos.
Holy
no.
shit, dude! And
breaking Renee and it's all
and who's
That's
with
good.
him?
Good for him.
Kyle O'Reilly
Oh, that's perfect.
with him.
Kyle
And
O'Reilly,
so
yeah.
Just
Briscoe,
stares
yeah,
at-
Briscoe is trying to give him some Southern funk. So every time he does a promo, he's like, "Let me tell you something." He does a big old promo, and then Riley tries to copy him, and he does okay, but then he falls off at the end. He's like, "I don't know, man." And then like Briscoe's like, "Let's go," and he leaves. He's like, "I'm gonna follow you anywhere, bro," and he just walks out. And like they've been doing that. It's wonderful. Like it's really funny.
Makes me sad.
I'm glad
man.
Briscoe's finally Briscoe's always been great. So
He's
was
always
his
been
brother.
great, man. His,
And, like, yeah, it's like, fucking
that's a sad one.
Finally show him, man. Show his shit. So this match is going to be crazy. I look for Jack Perry to win it, but maybe not. Like
has
I don't
to.
know. Maybe we'll get surprised.
Well,
I think with the
see.
storyline and everything, he will. But just a lot of talent there. And then Toni Storm is going to defend her championship against. I'm going to fuck this up. Mina Shirakawa.
Oh yeah, Mina.
She's from. Where's she from?
so sexy.
She's from-
Jesus Christ. She's beautiful.
I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
she's from another. She's from another promotion.
Stardom.
But and it goes to show what Buzz says too. It's like when you watch some of these matchups, you have to kind of already watch the product that she comes from to understand. It's like this is the big problem with AEW. It's like a lot of their pay-per-views are just like we should know who these people are, and that's basically their booking. It's like, I don't-
they expect you to because they want everybody
Yeah.
to be
I will
fucking
say though,
Hard Knocks
they've
fan.
spent a few weeks teasing the Mariah May and Tony triangle. So like she's been around enough to where you should know her for the last month at least.
yeah. Well, if they,
Very-
if,
and very sexy.
but with only 500,000 people
Great.
watching their show, I don't know
Great.
how they're getting that message across. The next match is the Learning Tree, which is Chris Jericho and Big Bill, which is Big Cass, and Jeff Cobb from I don't know if he's still with New Japan, but he was in New Japan for a while.
He's been wrestling recently for the New Japan.
How is Cass doing? Is he doing well?
He looks
really
wonderful.
well.
He looks great, and his pairing with Jericho is really good. He looks healthy.
Yeah,
he looks awesome. Yeah, he looks really good. They're taking on Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. I have to say, I was really done with Hook, but putting him with Samoa Joe again, I don't know what it is. Someone in the back is putting people with people, and they're hitting home runs.
Yeah, no, you have to. Like you have to.
Fucking the best. Like with Samoa Joe walking him down the hall trying to teach him shit or whatever, and Hook just kind of not getting it right. And I'm like, and Samoa's like, all right, you'll learn. Like I love it.
They
like
took
I
so much
think
steam out of him. You got to do something like Samoa Joe. That's a perfect pairing right there. Like a Taz.
Samoa Joe. Fuck man. What a year he's had. I mean, what a career, but what a fucking year. Samoa Joe's been great.
Right.
He's in the MVP.
I
for
think
them.
it'll be fantastic.
We have Zack Sabre Jr.
15
against
matches
Orange. We have Zach. I know we do 22 matches. Dave, get it right. Zack Sabre Jr. against Orange Cassidy, which could be a great match or could be not so good.
No,
it just
that
depends.
could be. That actually could be a great match.
Because people are like, the way Orange Cassidy works, if Sabre tries to tie him up, it's going to be a lot of funny stuff, but it'll also be a lot of really good wrestling.
At
Orange
first,
Cassidy's
I'm
really
sure
good
the
wrestler.
opening will be funny stuff.
Exactly, right. But I think that's good. You know what I mean? That'll be a different type of match, a different rhythm. So I am in it. And it's for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. No, that's wrong. Sorry. That's just a regular singles match. Yeah, the next match is for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Moxley against Naito.
Yep.
I'm sure there's just going to be a lot of carnage, and it's going to be great. Then we have Monet against Stephanie Vancouver for the winner takes all match for both the AEW TBS Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Listen, I know she's terrible on the mic. I know the buildup was fucking garbage, but her last pay-per-view match, she was great against Willow.
She's terrible on the mic when she's a babyface. When she's a heel, it's over.
But in the ring, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right.
She needs
but in the ring, she showed me last time. I was like, all right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up about her right now because she's still really good in the ring.
Yeah, that's the thing. She brings it in the ring, buddy. Like
I just say she's still talking shit because she's like, there's some stalkers at the airport trying to get my autograph. I'm like, that's every wrestler, Monet. Like, what are you talking about?
And for the record, I hate fucking running down the shows with Japanese names because I butcher them, and it's karma for me trying to fuck Dave over on our topics because I always try to throw names.
I don't know what you're talking about. You do great.
So I am suffering.
You give me phonetic spelling and everything. I'm thankful.
Well,
God damn it.
Monet showed up at I think CMLL to fight Stephanie Vancouver or whatever last week. So I think it's going to be like a long running thing because she actually went all the way to Mexico just to confront her. So I think
to Cuz's point, if they would fucking put the shit on their fucking social media and like just hype it, then we'd learn about it.
There's more.
But they show like one. Yeah,
They
it's
have
like
social media?
They get a good amount of views on YouTube, so it's like
it's like God damn it.
Which I'm sure they have
over and over again.
I don't know.
They're getting better.
I'm
being hard on them.
They're like the professional hockey.
No, you should be hard.
That's what they are. They just can't figure out how to promote it.
I just want to say, so last week we talked about their lowest ratings ever was like 500,000. They were 680 again this week. So a total weird.
It's still 680. Still not good, man. They need
still not good.
They need to kiss a million. They need to get back up.
Well, I mean, at least before they were doing like 8. Like in the 8s and in the high 7s at least. But now, that's I don't know. Man.
And they do need to just keep their nose down, keep going to the grind. It is what it is.
Pay attention to WWE. We don't need no little
exactly. Don't pay attention to WWE, and like they'll come out of it. If Tony Khan's really committing to do it, like just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Next year you'll be better and better and better, and you'll climb out of the hole. You just gotta. There's no magic turnaround, which is what. It's ironic we talk about WCW.
They don't have the same burdens that WCW had. It's not the same issue. They'll, like I said, they don't have to. They don't have to worry about I got to get all this money together and worry about Vince buying it. That's not happening. This is completely different. It's you get 1 million viewers, you get 800,000 viewers, you're gonna be in good shape. I mean, they can do it. They can do it.
Networks are happy with it, right? So that's all
they are so on the cusp. Like Craig said, they're so close to the streaming platform. That's where everything's gonna change for them.
Yeah.
WWE, you can find their product everywhere. Everywhere. Cable, streaming, doesn't matter. Hulu the next day, you could find WWE product wherever you have television, streaming or not. And AEW is just in one place. wait for that to change, and then watch how their portfolio changes. It'll be fine. It'll be really good. And I can't wait because once they go to the stream platform, then I'm gonna be able to watch, and I know the wrestling's fantastic, and then hopefully the storylines will improve as they've been continuing to improve. So sorry, Jess. What's the next match?
How would you know? You won't take my username and password, you motherfucker.
I don't steal cable.
I'm giving it to you. It's not theft.
Fair enough.
The next is a trios.
God, that's gonna be good.
Next is a trios
fun.
match. The Elite, Young Bucks, and Okada will take on the Acclaimed and Tanahashi. It's going to be very entertaining at the least, but I think it's going to be good because, like, again, the Young Bucks, they're masters at like 6-man tag, and Okada has been fucking great.
Tanahashi?
He's just been wonderful.
They're so good at that
He's
scissor
definitely,
kick, bro.
he's definitely a
Scissor
highlight.
kick pros.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. Like, yes, Ospreay is very talented, and yes, I'm sure WWE could do a lot with him, but I would be kicking myself more for Okada. Like, I'd be like, God damn it. Like, that guy just drips charisma. He's funny as shit, and he's amazing in the ring.
You see what
So it's
your boy Meltzer said about Nathan Frazier in NXT? He's like,
what?
There's this wrestler. I don't know if you know if you guys know him. Nathan Frazier in NXT. He's well, no, actually, Meltzer is saying he's their Ospreay. Like, he literally is their Ospreay. Like, he has what it takes to be their Ospreay. The guy's really good. He's really, really good. I don't know about comparing him to Ospreay.
That's what I'm
Put
saying.
that
I
much
just
pressure on him right away.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Osprey's great. There's no question, but at the same time, like, I just feel like I'm glad that Ospreay went to AEW because they can benefit from him, and Ospreay will put on the matches he wants to. But Okada is showing. It's weird in AEW of all places. Maybe he's doing it on purpose. He's absolutely showing, like, I have charisma. I can pace myself. I don't have to blow all my spots every match. I don't need to. And, like, he's just hanging out in 6-man. Like, it's amazing to me that, like, that's if I was Triple H, I'd be like, why didn't we get Okada? God damn it!
After
like,
all
I
those
would just
matches he put on in Japan, though, he deserves a little.
he needs
coasting
to
in
break
the
for sure.
6-man. Yeah, needs a.
And then
heal
we
his
have
body up.
a men's Owen Hart Cup tournament first round match. We have Bryan Danielson taking on Takagi. Is that how you say his name? I'm sorry,
Sounds good, Takagi.
Dingo Takagi. Which I'm sure is going
Oh yeah, dragon versus dragon because he's like the dragon of New
Okay.
Japan.
Nice.
God, I sound like such a
Dragon fight.
podcast right now. And then the main event for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Swerve Strickland will take on Will Ospreay. Will they change the title? Will they not? They may not. They may keep it on Swerve. And
What do you guys
Swerve goes
think?
on.
I don't think Osprey's going to win it.
I don't think so either.
I hope they allow Ospreay to chase for a while. That would be great.
Yeah,
I don't think so either. I think there's going to be maybe possibly MJF interference, which MJF is on the card too. And they didn't have it listed on Wikipedia, which serves me right for looking at Wikipedia. Oh no, MJF versus why did I fucking bring attention to it? MJF against I don't know how to say the name. God damn it, I'm not gonna say it. But MJF is on the card. Hachiro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Whatever. I said it
Cherio,
right
he's
the
the fire guy. Yeah, from Mexico.
So yes, he's going to take on. So MJF is on the card. I just skipped the match as well. I think MJF might have a little bit to do in the main event. So there might be some chicanery.
So did you guys see
in Wembley, right? Like when they eventually get there, like he has to be challenging for whoever's going to be the champion.
Which is next, right? Isn't it August?
Actually,
sometime in August.
Well, there was a weird thing that happened on Dynamite. If you saw the opening set, because it was in Buffalo, Daniel Garcia's from Buffalo.
Yeah,
MJ came out. Daniel Garcia, and then he said, "I will next week. I will give you a chance. The title. I'll give you a chance to fight me again when I had the belt and you lost, and I gave you blah blah." And then kind of Will Ospreay came out, stole his thunder, and MJ was sitting there in the corner, just like really kind of pissed,
I saw that clip.
staring at him. Yeah. And then it was like, I will give you a shot at Wembley or whatever it was, which was very strange. So it's like obviously gearing up to something MJF, Ray. But when
maybe a triangle,
timing,
maybe he doesn't win the title and it's a triangle. It's
who knows?
Ospreay and MJF.
Yeah. Or a 4-way if they put Danny Garcia in there since they're inserting him. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Ospreay's got to Yes.
That is so. I went to the next pay per view on Wikipedia.
strange
That is
stuff.
the next pay per view, so they're not going to have one in July.
Yeah.
It'd probably just be like a big theme Dynamite or something like that.
Or Ospreay is going to win,
I think-
and he goes in as champ.
I think that's smart. Give them some time to build something. If they use it for storyline, that'd be
Well,
great.
they need to, and I say only, but they've sold a little over 40,000 tickets so far, which is not
Oh,
the
man.
fast advance that they got last
For
year.
Wembley?
Yeah.
So yeah, for Wembley, so they've sold over 40,000, but they to not to be able to tarp things off effectively and to make it look nice, they need like 60. Like so, they have to
To
really
be
start putting
fair,
this
I
card
mean,
together in 2 months.
Say whatever you want to say. They did have a other certain big name that can draw. That's not there now. This time,
Who, Punky Pants?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
a good.
plus-
That's a great transition, by the way. 'cause
Plus, it was they had Okada.
They
not
had the
Okada.
different-
Sorry, they had Omega. They had Omega out
They
there.
had a lot. They had a lot of
Yeah.
different.
Jericho's
See,
there, obviously.
Not only that, they had CM Punk against Samoa Joe,
Right.
out there
Yeah.
for that last.
But speaking of Punk, it's a great shift because we're kind of running low on time, and I don't know how you don't talk about Chicago and
Last week, yeah.
allowing. It happened on Friday. I know we talked
we
about it
didn't.
briefly
We didn't even
'cause
bring it up. Yeah, we didn't really.
Yeah,
Bring
because
it
we
up.
were recording as it was happening, and watching Drew McIntyre go through the I Quit process, and then watching CM Punk make fun of him for the first 15 minutes in Chicago when the crowd is going nuts, and then out of nowhere you see a few guys kind of just bickering in the back, and then the gate comes up and Drew's just standing over Punk's lifeless body. And I don't know if you guys noticed, they did a lot of work. It wasn't real. I think they could have done a little bit better. Where McIntyre's knuckles were completely bloodied
Yeah.
and bloodied and bludgeoned through, and CM Punk is just completely crimson mask, and Punk is selling how lifeless his body is as Drew drags him through, gets him on his back,
What do you
and
fucking-
even drags him through Gorilla to get him out to the stage, and then dumps him in front of everybody.
Dude, when
And I
he
was just
dumped
like,
him, I was like, Jesus Christ! The way he dumped him, I was like, holy shit.
But not even that. I don't know how. This is feud of the year, and they haven't even touched it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've touched each
Yeah.
other, but they haven't
Well,
even.
they
had a
haven't- well, they
fucking
haven't
match
wrestled.
yet. It's feud of the year.
We haven't
They haven't
seen-
wrestled
yeah.
1-on-1. They briefly touched at Rumble, which injured Punk, which
Don't
is
need
the
the
best
belt.
thing ever because
Doesn't even need the belt. Like,
it's fantastic.
First of
I don't
all,
know if you heard.
I need you
real
to
quick.
calm down. The uncrowned
should be
heavyweight champion will
Yeah, no, Drew
win
should
Money
be
in the
champ.
Bank, and he will fucking win the world title. And
Every
Yeah,
week.
I
it's-
really need
I'll-
you to watch your mouth. I
I'll
need you to
say
watch
it
your mouth.
briefly. Every week.
I wanted him to win.
Priest is- every week, Damien's getting weaker and weaker. It's just a tough title run right now. But going back to Punk, I don't know if you guys
He's
saw.
robbed. He's fucking the uncrowned champion. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of pretending like he's not my world champion.
Somebody dubbed over CM Punk talking about Ryback dumping him on his elbow and breaking his elbow and messing him up and tilting his pelvis as Drew threw him off. Like it was like
what I'm
someone
saying, like,
dubbed
oh,
it
yeah,
over.
the-
I was like,
Punk's
that was so
injured.
great.
Punk's surely
Yeah.
injured after the way he got dropped by Drew. Like,
But
That's
all he
probably
did
from,
was
like-
dump him. Like if Punk, if you can't handle that, don't do the spot.
he probably
I'm sure
got
he's
injured when
fine,
they were
but-
putting the fake blood on him. Like,
Right. That's why I thought they
Right.
couldn't show the actual attack is because he was hurt, but the way
Yeah.
he did kind of.
dude,
That's
he
why
dumped
that's
his
funny.
ass.
the way he was like, "Oh fuck!"
That
He
is so
unceremoniously
funny.
dumped him on his ass.
But not only that, guess what?
On
If
the-
if their segments are highly rated, which I'm sure they are,
They
and
are.
all their merchandise is moving, Triple
They
H is
are.
probably like, I'm in no hurry, guys. Like, let's just keep doing this shit.
Push
I'm
it
in no
out to
hurry.
WrestleMania,
Like,
whatever
yeah.
you got to do.
Which, by the way, did they? I don't get to see the whole thing because I watched it on Hulu and it's they abbreviate it. But did Punk actually reveal that he was good to go? Because it sounded like to me like no one ever revealed that he was cleared.
God, because who came out? Someone. Oh no,
He
'cause
said
the
he was
Bloodline came
going to
out.
reveal if he was cleared or not, and then they never.
Because the
did.
Bloodline came out. That's right. Because the Bloodline. And that's when Paul Heyman. He's all, please take me with you and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And
he was involved in the beginning and
Yeah.
chased out the bloodline.
That was a
Cody
great
and
segment
Kevin
too. Just
Owens.
seeing them back in the ring with each other was awesome.
yeah, that was fucking.
It made me
awesome.
miss. I love that connection with them.
I
when
did
Punk
too.
was world champion. Yeah, it was good.
I did
Fun.
too. Man, but the Bloodline tonight, fuck, man. And then Jacob Fatu, obviously, he debuted last week, and then everything tonight. I loved it because, Paul Heyman's doing that again, where he's all, he's letting his facial hair get all, sloppy. His eyes are bloodshot. He looks like he's been
stressed.
crying. Yeah, he's stressing. And I like when they did that too with Solo, when he's like, where's Jacob Fatu? And he's like, I listened to you, wise man. You said he's dangerous. I told him not to come, and he's not going to be here. And then they, of course, bring him out at the end of tonight, and officially, he's the enforcer for Solo. He came out with a badass entrance, looking like a star, man. Like, man, that's the new Bloodline. I wish they would call
Arn
it different.
Anderson of the Bloodline.
So,
the
dude,
only thing that I'm really scared for is
he's on my spot.
if this goes Bloodline versus Bloodline and Roman's team wins and all that happens, at Survivor Series, what happens to these guys? Are they just fucking toast? Like, what happens to them?
The other dynamic is that we don't know about The Rock. Like, which side is he gonna be on? That's
True.
the other. That's the other thing too.
I'm just gonna have a real problem with if all this talent is coming from all these great independent places and they just shit on them at Survivor Series. That to me is not okay. I hope they have.
I don't.
plans.
You know what? Again,
I've stretched it out for 5 years.
I've had
so.
Vince McMahon
Right,
PSP
Jeff,
for a while, but I am not going to do it.
It's
There's
not
no way-
VKM, Jess.
I know.
Right?
There's
It's
no
not
way
gonna
they're going to
I gotta
do
let
it.
go.
There's no way they're going to do it.
'Cause
And
I would
if they
worry
do,
too,
it'll be done
but
tastefully. Yeah,
It's not
it'll be
Vince no
done.
more. So,
Yes.
Roman's pop is going to be fucking astronomical.
dude, they're
when it
just
comes
so
out.
building up.
Dude, they are calling for him every week, and I love
We
it.
want
They're
Roman.
like,
We want
want Roman.
But that was
do an
an
impression
So good.
of Solo.
We're doing what?
Solo.
Talking to Heyman.
What,
Talking to Heyman or
Solo
what?
standing behind you, fucking intimidating you right now. Or
Yes.
what?
Where
Wait.
yeah, he comes in,
What you gotta say, Craig?
and you and me are gonna have a talk later.
You all right there, buddy?
I don't know. It's
Get
really
emotional,
hard.
Craig, or what's going on?
No, he's breaking up.
Oh. Okay. But yeah, so that whole Bloodline stuff, that was amazing. Tiffany Stratton and Jade and Candice had a great match. It was the Money in the Bank qualifier. Tiffany
Yeah, Stratton's going to Money in the Bank,
She's
right?
going to Money in the Bank, rightful winner right there. Jade,
Should be.
man, gotta give it to her, man. She looks good now, like in the ring. Like she looks good. She looks really good.
She's getting more
She's come
polished.
far. Yeah, she's
more
come
polished.
far. And Nia came out. I don't know what, man. I'm getting tired of this shit with it being on these networks because like the blacking out the screen, the muting the audio. It's just getting so annoying, dude.
Triple H just talked about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's-
Pat McAfee.
he's not happy either. He talked about it on McAfee. He's like on Netflix. That won't be a problem.
Dude, they're
Like,
turning
he's
like
just
into
like, well-
YouTube content creators.
And
Like,
I
you can't
think
even say
also
punch
when,
in the face on YouTube because
When SmackDown moves
Shit.
to USA, it'll be a little bit lighter too, because USA is a little bit more lenient.
they are, yeah.
It's further down the trough on the cable line.
They still,
Craig-
I mean,
Craig
yeah.
can speak to that. I know that. It's like watching South Park after 10. The F-bomb drops. It's fine.
SmackDown,
You know?
yeah, but SmackDown was a good show because it was in Madison Square Garden, so they made it like it looked like a pay per view. Like, I mean, I kept forgetting that they were in Madison Square Garden, and I'm like, why the fuck is the arena so? Oh, they're in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I think those were the highlights there. But
You said they almost put 20,000 people in that place?
yeah, it was like 19.5, something like that. Yeah, it was crazy. They had a cool
Hanging from the rafters, brother.
yeah, brother. LA Knight, brother, and Logan Paul and Santos Escobar, they had their qualifying match. LA Knight won, right? Right, Craig? Actually, kind of forgot right now. Yeah, LA Knight
But he's
won.
not.
And then they did like a Knicks versus Pacers
Yeah,
thing, where like
But he's not- he's
Halliburton
not-
came out with Jalen Brunson.
But LA Knight's gonna LA Knight qualified for Money in the Bank, but he's
Correct.
not gonna win because he's gonna beat Logan for the US title at
They-
SummerSlam more than likely.
It
That's what
doesn't
we're
matter who else is
Yeah.
qualified. We all know who's gonna fucking
Drew's gonna win, but yeah, LA Knight is
he's uncrowned
probably
fucking champion.
so. That's the easy way out to protect LA Knight because they'll have Logan, interfere in the Money in the Bank match. Him and all of his goons will.
I mean, because that could be true, but I would argue that you don't even need that because it's like 6 people in there. If he doesn't win, it'll just be some kind of.
but
schmoz.
they'll do it,
It-
to
it-
further
He'll
the
be
story.
I think he'll be protected either way. is
But
what I'm
yeah,
saying,
you're
'cause
right,
it's 6 people. But if Logan interferes, even better.
Yeah.
And then Logan versus him at SummerSlam, it'll be off the chain. And finally, we're gonna see, what's everybody saying.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
gonna be
and
And
he's gonna be a
the-
crown, and that place will erupt when it happens. It'll.
Oh yeah,
it'll go nuts.
speaking of the place erupting, when they opened the show, when the Bloodline got there, and then Randy and Cody and Kevin came out and they just started brawling. That was crazy. That was a good way to open up the show. That was really.
By the way, Jess shared
insane.
social media where they listed Randy at 275, Randy Orton, and he said, "What? 290? I've been eating." I'm like, if Randy Orton is
As he's
280,
walking down
Brock
the ring,
Lesnar.
it's like,
he's like Brock Lesnar right
I'm
now.
290.
I'm 290. I've been eating, and it's like
Dude, he's fucking huge. Like he's still big.
I'm not denying it at all because he's in there with like, you know, with the Bloodline, and those guys are 220, 230.
He's not fat.
And he's
Not at all.
he's not fat at all. He's fucking massive. He's always been super tall, and then finally at the end, like his mass has built into the height, and he's a giant. He's almost like a giant.
He's a titan, dude. He's like a big titan. Like
He's
a fucking
so-
Greek.
yeah,
he literally is a Greek god. Like he literally
he looks demigod like he's half man, half god.
he literally is, which is awesome.
You know, it's funny, little
love
things
Randy.
like that too. When I saw that little clip, I'm like, yeah, I mean, obviously there's bigger reasons as to why we could tell it's not a Vince McMahon ran company anymore, but Vince wouldn't have liked that shit. Like just Randy being so comfortable to be like,
Randy,
more.
what the fuck?
I'm bigger. Like,
Yeah.
shut up, Randy. We build you at 275. It's what you do. Like it's just
You're skinny.
I love
Remember
that. They're all free.
Which is dumb. Why wouldn't you want to build him at 290? Like that's fucking huge.
Makes him like, man.
Like yeah.
So yeah, that was a good SmackDown, but man, to me the highlight of the week, man, it's got to be Bo Dallas's promo. That
I
wanted to
liked
ask you guys
the week before. I liked the whole segment in the back where everybody was like just laying knocked out and beat up or whatever. I loved
Right.
it, and I know it was kind of divisive because people were just not used to that. But I felt like they kept it within the realm of reality.
Yeah.
It wasn't like what they used to do with Bray and make it kind of make believe like you went into a different place. I liked it. I love the production. I love the continuous shot. And then the interview that he did was just excellent and just phenomenal. And
That's what
it's the best.
the only
question-
thing that I worry about, the only
Okay.
thing is like eventually it's got to get in the ring. And I don't want them to be corny when it gets in the ring.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to wrestle well. And I'm not saying he was always Bo Dallas was always a
great.
good wrestler.
Yeah.
But
he can work.
I mean, like,
that's not the issue.
yeah. So you got to do that. You got to figure out how, because what they never figured out with Bray was they did all these great funhouse segments and all the stuff was produced so well. All of it was good. Except when they got in the ring, they just couldn't figure out. It's like they didn't want to just let him wrestle. But the matches like that he wrestled, like, you know, against like Daniel Bryan when the whole thing was happening.
When he worked.
Like it was excellent. Bray Wyatt could work really well, but Vince just didn't want it. He's like, look, if we make all your segments fantasy, your in-rings got to be fantasy. That's where the worms come into play and all this other trash and all the other
and
bullshit.
the red light and all that. Yeah, it's stupid.
Even earlier last year, you know, the whole fucking Mountain Dew bullshit. It's like stop. Like stop doing that.
Maybe my question is kind of moot because my question was going to be like, can Bo hold up to the Bray Wyatt hype? And with the production value and him helping him, maybe that's true. And then if you allow it to just wrestle in the ring, maybe it will already surpass what Bray was doing in those matches.
I don't mind squash matches. I don't mind squash matches either.
Let's do
what you got to do to keep the character massive and keep it big.
If you keep doing segments like what you did with the promo, like that's and stay like that, and it is in reality, it's supposed to be Bo. Obviously, as Uncle Howdy, because people are like, "Oh, we're supposed to believe it's supposed to be two of them." No, it's Bo.
It's him talking to himself. Yeah,
he's talking to himself.
He's talking to himself.
It's another extension of what I wanted done with Bray when he was the Funhouse Bray, and then the Fiend would come out. I was like, dude,
why wouldn't they talk to each other?
You could enhance what you could take what Foley did and make it so much better.
So this is where
the
patience needs to come in because remember when Randy and Bray had their feud after like Randy betrayed, you know. Remember he was in the Wyatt family. Remember they had the House of Horrors match. They were already teasing
he had to pin him with a fridge.
They were they were teasing it then. They showed someone went back and showed you could see the Bo Dallas symbol in the house. So they were already working this stuff slowly back then.
Yeah, Bo was going to come into it for sure.
Yeah,
before they had Uncle Howdy before he passed, and it was going to be Bo, and it was going to be all them. Like they were going to. They were working on a new faction for Bray.
The House of Horrors was pre-fucking Worms in the Ring. So that's how long already Bray... This was before Bray even got released. So this was like way before. So they were already... He already had all this in mind. So that's what's crazy to look back and see that. But yeah, as long as they don't do stupid like red light during the match or, you know, stupid gimmicks. God. I actually groaned. I was pissed when after Chad won his qualifying match and the smoke filled the ring. I was like, I'm like, I don't like this. I already don't like this. And then she's giving him the tape and blah, blah, blah. And then when they rolled that foot, I was like, all right, That made up for all
It-
the
well,
the,
and
spooky
the reason
stuff.
why I accepted it was because they're trying to find practical ways to segue into stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I'm fine with that. Yeah, maybe the dry ice or the fog.
Yeah,
is a little
don't do
much,
that. I don't wanna
but,
do that.
like, I mean, we lived through Undertaker, floating out of a
but
building.
see,
So I
and
think
Undertaker's a
that,
great
like,
example because
He's
Undertaker they
fun.
did all this stuff outside the ring,
He's
but
not
when it
walking.
came down
And
to
then
the
he
ring,
then he worked.
he
Then
worked a
worked.
regular wrestling match. It wasn't like in the
Yeah.
graveyard, like like they could have easily. With
I mean, a
Vince
lot of
running
it was
that,
bullshit. Let's be honest. That's not.
Well,
he
I guess his
sucks bricks.
selling, yeah, you could say his selling was.
It's why we booed him.
or
It's
lack
why we booed him
thereof.
quite a bit. Yeah, that's why we booed him.
I just did what I was
all
told.
the time.
Just did what I was told.
Come on, I was just doing my job.
I still like.
But,
I don't know.
no, I'm excited about it, and
man,
obviously
that
you
promo.
feel Bray's presence every time, and I think
Dude,
that's
he
special.
looked like
and
Bray when he was talking.
think-
yeah,
He looked.
I
Like
think
Bray.
I think I shared it with you guys on socials. But I don't know if you saw it where they kind of listed John Cena's injury out 6 months, someone else's injuries out 12 months, and they said Chad Gable dead.
Oh yeah,
Return 1 week later. We are not the same.
yeah.
Chad Gable's like, he's like,
dude,
everyone thought he was
that's-
dead. And like, it's someone on Wikipedia wrote that he died. I was like, that's hilarious.
that's what's crazy, and that's why, like, because some, we might like, LA Knight, like, why doesn't he have the title yet? Like, well, like, look how great everything is. It's not like where it's like the best stuff's on top and then shit on the bottom. It's like everywhere you.
Well,
look.
again, I think the reason why a lot of people are like that is we all have PSD from Vince, and I think that
Well,
when
yeah,
we
that's
see
true,
something hot, we're like, hurry up, crown him because I don't want
Well,
it's going to
even-
go away soon.
What if like
Vince
even-
would always make shit go away. Vince would always make shit go away.
Even Craig said, like, I think Craig, you said a few weeks, I'm kind of getting a little bored with LA Knight, and I'm like, no, this is Stone Cold. Like, he didn't win the title overnight either, and it's kind of naturally kind of taking over. And by the way, Stone Cold didn't win the world title first. He won the Intercontinental title first. So it's like, it's not, it's kind of the same build factor, and it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really good. When
Triple H, I can
happens.
imagine he's just like, already planned. It's gonna be great match. Bo Dallas is gonna have a great match. This is gonna make Bryan Danielson want to come back to WWE after he sees Bo Dallas's first match. As he gets out of the meeting, he just starts hearing in his head, "It's not gonna be a regular match." Starts hearing, red lights,
BKO coming in.
worms. And like Triple H is getting possessed by Vince McMahon. No. I don't know.
We got to do something special. We can't just do a regular match.
We
all have. Craig said
Like
the same, we
Spaceballs,
all
Vince
have
pops out of Triple
PTSD.
H.
And this is what makes WWE when it's done right. It is entertainment. They've been on the forefront of this forever, and like if you do it right and the
Right.
production value's there, I'm fine with it. I just don't
Mecca
want.
of professional.
Yeah, I want good wrestling when we get in the ring.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes, but just don't fuck it up. Like, don't do worms on the ring. Don't do red lights.
Don't do that.
any of that shit.
Don't like I
Like,
said. What am I supposed to believe?
Remember when the Fiend debuted? It was just him and Finn at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And they had a regular match, and it was fucking excellent. And
It
the
was.
entrance was awesome, and like
That's
it was a
all
good
you need to
match
do.
between the two, and then done. And I was like, that's so when he first re-debuted as a Fiend, I was like, this is going to
Yeah.
change a lot of stuff. Like I was like, he's going to take Mick Foley stuff to the next level. Like
Exactly.
he had the split
Right.
personality, and I was like, oh, dude, can you imagine like him, like the Incredible Hulk? He's like, you won't like me when I'm angry, and then like he changes into the Fiend. I was like, dude, this is going to be awesome. And then Vince just shit the bed with it, like straight after. It's like fuck, like it was awesome. It was so good. Like,
Did
it was so
you
great.
guys see that clip that I sent of Bo Dallas when Renee Young and Moxley were like, she was interviewing Moxley, and it was a Halloween
yes, yeah.
episode. Oh my god,
Yeah,
stupid
he was in
Bo.
the
He's like,
Ghost.
all you gotta do is boo leave.
Bo
Like, oh.
leave.
He said boo leave. He said boo because he was a ghost. He was dressed up as a ghost. He's like, oh, but you could tell he was trying not to laugh because he's all you have to do is boo leave. Like because he had the mask over too. Oh my god. Oh, dude, I love that. Yeah. It sold good. It's sold
I hate all that stuff. I hate all that stuff like Mizdow because
I do
Vince
too, though.
lied to everybody's face and said there was a brass ring. And if you make chicken salad out of chicken shit, I will favor you.
Yeah.
How
I know.
many people made chicken salad out of that chicken fucking shit? And he still released them. It's bullshit.
true.
It was
It's
all
true.
bullshit. Like
I would
Mizdow,
argue- I would-
Bo
I would
Dallas.
argue-
Bo
I would
Dallas was
argue
over.
it's different now.
Yeah.
Bo Dallas was
when it
way
keeps-
over, dude.
Bo
Bo
Dallas
Dallas,
was over.
everything they gave him.
He's
Everything-
running around. Bo leave.
Fucking Miro. Miro was over. Like they were all fucking
Corbin?
over. Rusev Day. He fucking got Rusev Day over.
Yeah.
Bad News Barrett. Like
Corbin?
all the shit. You're
Corbin,
gonna come up on a
like-
podium like a ridiculous person, and you're gonna
We're gonna put you
got
on
it
a
over.
scissor lift,
And guess
brother.
what? every time he came out, what did fans always say? Bad news when he would say
Yeah,
that.
but he fucking. They let the Nexus debut like with this fucking huge, heavy, awesome, amazing realism,
Jess,
and then he
you're
shits
doing
on
it.
him. It's like what the fuck?
Jess, you're
like,
doing it again. You're doing it.
I fucking hate him. Like I hate
Yeah,
him.
you're having a
We
bad.
gotta get Jess a helmet. We gotta get him a
He
helmet.
was so
for this.
bad. He was so bad for so long, and everybody just forget what happened. I mean, I'm not saying forget it. I'm just
Y'all
saying
talk shit on
because
him.
if he did something wrong, but I mean, like we all went through phase. We were just like not Vince. Like Vince, we protected him, and then like finally when he leaves, it's like oh, it gets so much better instantly. Like instantly. I remember the first Raw without him. It felt different. It wasn't fixed yet, but like it felt
Trust
different.
me,
There was something different.
Before stuff came out, before all the the reasons of him having to step down, I wanted him gone since like 2014. I've been wanting him gone.
Yeah.
I've been wanting him gone.
Finally, when they got
was
the
horrible.
producer gone too, like when he left, it was
stupid Kevin Dunn,
instant,
you
like
stupid fucking
instantly
piece of
better.
shit,
The
beaver
shaking
teeth
of the
motherfucker.
cameras, the fucking
Yeah,
45
so-
angles, like it was fucking ridiculous. Like it was killing everything.
And keep it on the positive. Seth's already back and working a title match at the next pay-per-view, man. Seth is already back.
God, I'm so sick and tired of Drew being fucking pushed to the bottom. He's a fucking Uncrowned champion. I'm tired of it.
Wait,
He
what?
beat fucking Seth at WrestleMania. You all saw it.
Yeah,
You
he did.
fucking saw
Drew's
it.
the best. Drew is the man. Drew
Bullshit.
is
The-
the
it should be
uncrowned
The real
champion.
concern I have, I don't know if you guys see it. I don't know if they're making it purposeful or if it's just organically happening in a negative way. But Damien can't carry the mic work when someone calls him out on stuff.
Can we all just call time of death on his title reign? Can we just? I like Damien a lot.
Everything
but
that's
can we
going on
just
in
say
the
it's not
Judgment Day
working?
is way better than what he's doing by
Exactly.
himself. Which they're obviously teasing that. Obviously that's.
If you're gonna put the world title on someone, you got to elevate them, and they just have not done it.
I don't know
it's like
why
they wanted the shock value of the cash in to carry him, and it didn't. And they're not doing anything with the title, and it's I like Damien a lot.
Well,
I do.
Seth-
I think he has a
I mean,
lot
he's
of
defended it twice now,
but-
right? Twice.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I
and,
think
and
so,
Seth
yeah.
deliberately called out on his first two title defenses that he got help, either directly or indirectly, and Damien didn't have a response to it. Yeah, I know. Like what? Like what?
I don't like what they're doing with him. I like Damien a lot. He has so many tools. He's going to be a star.
Yeah.
There's no question. But like,
He's
I just
completely
feel,
transformed his body too
I
since
just-
NXT and before. He's huge.
I
I
just
don't
feel
know
like this title
why-
run is no bueno, and it's just not.
I don't know
working.
what
and
you're
the
gonna
Uncrowned
do.
champion needs to wear.
I don't
the
know what
title.
you're gonna
It's
do
like,
if
God
he's the
damn it.
one that you're gonna outcast from the Judgment Day. I don't know where he goes.
I want McIntyre to beat Cody.
I
I'm
don't know.
sick of all this shit. Sick of all this.
whoa!
That's what I want. I want
Want all
to
of
see
it.
like Drew or
settle down.
I want him to
Settle down.
unify all the belts, even the secondary titles, and
Apollo
just be
Crews? I
called
wanna
it's
see
the
Apollo
Drew
Crews. Settle
Heavyweight
down.
Championship.
Why can't we? Oh,
shit.
Cody's gonna hold the title for a decade. I'm just kidding.
Cody's doing great.
He might.
He is doing great. It's fine.
Cody's doing great, but he could be beat by a hot heel at the time and then win it back. I have no
That's
problem
true.
with Cody losing and winning it.
I would
Like,
be very happy.
Yeah,
about that.
you
I would be
know,
happy if
but-
Solo beats him and they want to do that for a little bit. Fuck it.
I wouldn't put the title on Solo, but
You're on?
it's just
fucking fly.
Yeah, you had a ghost in
But
there?
I just realized we're a minute and an hour. A minute. We're an hour and 7
Woo.
minutes right now.
Yeah, we're an hour so
Yeah.
so we could wrap it up, I guess.
Crazy, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Ricky, wrap it up.
Craig
Craig went silent on us. Where are we gonna see you?
Where's Paul Heyman not going to be at next week?
you guys buying my beer?
Yeah, brother. Craig, where's Paul Heyman not going to be at next week? Okay. What? Yeah, Craig, you're off in your own little world over there tonight. I don't know what's going on with you there, buddy. Craig said we will see you at the matches.
Fuck.
There you go.
And-
Oh, stop it. Stop